My crowd for my speech. My name is Gray Mason, and this is my final speech. Hi everyone, thank you for coming and listening to me talk. Now, I can imagine a lot of you are wondering, why is there this heavily tattooed dude behind me, right? So I want to know, what are some of your first thoughts? Are they positive? Are they negative? Would you trust this guy to be your doctor, or your manager, or your kid's teacher? Raise your hand if you'd be okay with that. Any of those?
All three or any of them?
Any of them. Just a couple of you? Most of you? Alright, good. Good. So, a lot of people, though, wouldn't. Now, I find this interesting is they don't know this person. So why would they feel that way? You know, body modifications don't change who you are. They're just outside of you. I was the same person before I had my tattoos and my piercings that you guys know about, right? You knew me before then, and I'm the same person. So why does my self-expression change my chances of getting a job? So first I'm going to explain what body mods are, or body modifications. They're anything from tattoos, piercings, which you guys have heard of, and some more exotic things like scarification and implants, but I'm not really going to go into those for the purpose of this speech. So piercings, ear piercings, you've all seen those before, right? And you guys don't, that's not weird, that's not someone who's heavily tattooed or alternative, and that is considered a body modification. Most people don't think of it as that. So piercings anywhere count, and tattoos count. And I'm talking about real permanent ones, not the stick-on ones you guys would get 50 cents or whatever, those don't count. And so, why would someone do some of these things though, right? You guys aren't heavily tattooed or pierced. Why are people like me getting tattoos and piercings? Well, it depends. Usually in America, it's for reasons of self-expression and self-confidence. They want to feel comfortable in their body. Now for the other things that are more exotic, like scarification and things I didn't really go into, it's more of a religious preference. So, if tattoos and piercings are just self-expression, then why do employers care that people have tattoos and piercings? Well, I'm going to back up a little bit again, and I'm going to talk about the history. So to begin with, when you see someone who has like stretched ears really big or something, your first instinct is probably like, what the heck is that, right? You aren't used to that. Now, I think that a lot of people feel this way because it's not a natural occurring thing in the body. You don't look at someone, they don't naturally have stretched ears or like, black marks all over their face or whatever. So I think that's why a lot of people aren't quite okay with body modification. And another reason, this is more specific to tattoos, is tattoos used to mark prisoners. So for a long time, tattoos have been prisoners. You can think about concentration camps as a, not as happy example. Or even just back in China, I do believe, is when they first started. And so if you were walking down the street and you see someone covered in tattoos, and your whole life you've kind of heard tattoos mean a thug or someone like that, why would you think differently? Raise your hand if any of you have heard someone be referred to as a thug from their tattoos. Or if you said it too, yeah? So, it makes sense, right? Like, that's what you guys have heard, that's what you've heard, and that's what older generations have heard most of their life. So, it makes sense, but it's not the same anymore. Anyone over the age of 18 can go get a tattoo. Anyone can get a piercing with their parents' permission. So, times are changing, and I think we need to change the way we're thinking. So, going back to my main point, why do employers care? Well, a lot of it has to do with what I just said in the history. A lot of the older generations aren't okay with these tattoos and piercings because they see them as thuggish or, a bad sign, or they see them as trashy. And these are usually the people that are employing people, and they're also the consumers. So, if you think about it as an employer, you don't want to hire someone who's going to scare away your customers, right? So, it's one of the main things. They also don't want it to reflect badly onto themselves as a company or as an employer. Another thing that I hear a lot is that body mods, so tattoos and piercings, are unprofessional. But why is that? Why are they unprofessional? They're just art. Anyway, they're just body art, right? And it takes a lot of time and effort is that people with tattoos and piercings are lazy, you can't take them seriously. That's kind of a contradiction, don't you think? So now you guys know what tattoos are, how they're being, how people with tattoos are being discriminated against. Why do you care? Why did I ask you guys to come here and listen to me talk about it for 5 minutes, right? Well, the main reason I think it's important is because it's discrimination. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Just because someone looks differently on the outside does not change the way they are on the inside. People who are intelligent and have degrees get tattoos. You can't tell someone's going to be a hard worker based on how they look. And at what point does not being hired because you have a flower on your arm different from not getting hired because your hair is too short? So I have a good example of one of these intelligent people who has tattoos and probably wouldn't have, been hired. Wrong way. Do you guys remember hearing about the drone that landed on a comet recently? Wasn't that recent? You guys remember hearing about that?
Yep.
Some of you? Okay, well this is Dr. Matt Taylor, and this is the scientist who landed that drone on a comet. It's kind of surprising, right? How many of you were surprised to see that this is a rocket scientist? Show me with your hands. You guys surprised? He's heavily tattooed and, that's not normal. When I think of doctors, I don't think of someone who's heavily tattooed. And this is why it's important, though, that we recognize this stigma and try to get rid of it. Because if he wouldn't have been hired for his tattoos, we might not have a drone right now. It might have eventually came, but we wouldn't be making progress right now, just because he has some art on his body. So in conclusion, I just want to reaffirm what I've been saying. Body modifications do not change who you are on the inside. All they are is a form of self-expression. They should not, when you look at someone who has tattoos, you should not see a criminal. Instead, you should see someone who is committed, hardworking, and appreciates the arts. I think that as a human culture, we should be more concerned about how happy people are and how they're helping, how we're helping each other. We shouldn't be focused on the way other people look. So next time you see someone who does have tattoos and piercings, instead of being like, wow, look at that thug, or whatever might first come to your mind, just try to be happy and think, you know what, they're being their true selves, and they're going to do whatever they can do to help, just like you